Hey guys, it's AuspiciousAussie here and welcome to another episode of my Ajax Dutch Players Only series. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for smashing the likes on the first episode. It's at like 20 likes at this time, and yeah, that's pretty amazing for my second series so far in FM15. So yeah, thank you. Apologies for not uploading as recent as I should be. I've got a new full-time job working 6 days a week, so yeah, my schedule is pretty messed up at the moment. I actually worked a 13-hour day a couple of days ago, and yeah, safe to say I was pretty wrecked after that. But anyways, let's get into it now. I don't really want to waste too much time. Hasn't really been that many fixtures. Actually, before I do that, I said I was going to go over the transfers, so we'll do that first, because there was quite a bit of activity. Alright, we'll do the outs first. I let quite a few youth players go. The ones that were not of Dutch nationality that I couldn't actually sell. We sold Nicola Boylesson for 4.1 mil to Olympiacos. He was the left back, fairly decent left back at that. I looked at him on my Everton save and was interested in signing him there. But yeah, obviously had to go. He was of Danish nationality, as was Lucas Anderson, who went to Genk for 3 mil. Very upset I had to sell this bloke, as he is like a wonder kid and turns out to be quite a good player in the future. I was also really upset when I sold Lasse to Everton. I mean, that is one of my clubs, obviously my Everton series, for 5.75 mil. And he's probably the best player at the club apart from Zivkovic when you start the game. So yeah, really disappointed I sold him. His value skyrocketed to 8 mil as well, so, you know, Everton could probably get at least, 14 mil out of him if they sold him now. We then sold captain Moisander, Nicholas Moisander, obviously of Finnish nationality. Very good centre-back, but we do have, three other centre-backs that are, fairly decent in the same sort of stature as Moisander here, but he was sold for 7.5 to Benfica. We then sold Sigporsson to PSV, which was pretty upsetting, but they were the only team that actually came in with a fairly decent offer of 4.4 mil. He's also a half-decent striker, a bit more of a target man with his, heading quite high, and good strength and stuff. So yeah, upset I had to sell him to PSV. I then sold Tobias Sana to William for 150k. Nobody really wanted this guy. He was already transfer listed at the club when I took it over, so yeah, got rid of him for pennies, but I wasn't really that fussed. He's not that good either. We then sold Serrero to Red Bull Salzburg for 1 mil. Quite hard to sell this guy as well. Obviously South African, coming from the Ajax Cape Town team. We then let this guy go. Don't know who he is. We loaned out Bakara, who was that defensive midfielder, who's not that good, to be fair, so I don't really know what I'm going to do with him, and we let Marcus Bay go, who was obviously a Danish player. Alright, so the players in, we brought 4 players in, obviously Dutch nationality for all of them. 2 you'll probably be familiar with, the other 2 probably not so much. First of all, we brought in Luke Stagnos, very, very good player. Many of you will be quite familiar with him. He was a wonder kid, I think on FM 11. And probably 12 as well. Again, he's 22, so he's a little bit older on this game. But again, his stats are all pretty good, and he's actually banging the goals in for fun at the moment for us. He is our starting striker now, so yeah, really happy with his, purchase, 10.25 mil. It's pretty expensive, but he's very young, and he will, fit the mould of Dutch players, I suppose. We then brought in Eric Peters from Stoke for 4.3 mil. Obviously, many of you will be familiar with him, coming from Stoke in the Premier League. We needed a left back. We had no natural left backs in the first team, so we brought him in. 26 years old, half decent fee of 4.3, and his value's a bit higher than that now, so that's good. We then brought in Marko Vinovic, and he was bought for 3.4 mil from Vitesse. Fairly decent midfielder. Good stats where I need him to have him. And yeah, 24 years old, still fairly young, good vision as well. Quite happy with that purchase. And then we also brought in Davy Proper for 6.5 mil from Vitesse again. He is an attacking midfielder, at 23, again, fits a similar mold of buying young Dutch players. And again, very good technically and good vision as well. So very happy with those two midfield buys from Vitesse. And yeah, not too much spent there. So we sold 26 mil, brought in 24.5, so we still made a bit of a profit, despite losing quite a few players and only bringing 4 in. But we did have a fairly decent youth, well, we had fairly decent youth prospects in the B team and the under-19s team as well. So very happy with those. Anyway, let's get into the fixtures now. As you can see, obviously the previous episode we lost the Dutch Super Cup against Zwolle. We then beat Feyenoord 1-0 away from home as well. So a very interesting game to start the Eredivisie. David Klaassen getting our only goal there, and Joel Veltman getting our man of the match performance there. The man of the match award, I should say. We then versus Willem, I'm not sure how you actually pronounce that. I think it's something like that anyway. We beat them 6-1 at home. Very emphatic result. I mean, they are a fairly weak team. Zivkovic got a brace for himself. Geraldo Becker, the 19-year-old right winger, got a goal. And again, Luke Castagnos, I'm going to mention his name quite a bit, got a brace for himself within 7 minutes. We're very happy with his performance. I think that was his first game, I believe, actually. I think so. We then drew to NAC, or NAC Breda, I think their name is. 1-1 away from home, so not the best result. Kishner, who is the left winger, another 19-year-old, getting the only goal there. But as you can see, their defence played pretty well, so a fair result in the draw, I guess. We then bounced back to winning ways against Heracles with a 2-1 away victory. Luke Castagnos again with another brace, and yeah, all 3 points once again. We then faced Groningen. I have to figure out how to pronounce that team's name, but we beat them 2-1 again. Luke Castagnos with another brace, and yeah, I'm going to be mentioning his name a lot throughout this series, I believe. Hopefully he develops into an absolute world-class player. We then versed PSV, our league rivals, and beat them. Luke Castagnos again scored in the 5th minute, and Duarte, the left back, or the makeshift left back, I should say. Oh no, the midfielder. He's actually a midfielder, that's right. Yeah, he actually got the other goal and the man of the match performance as well. I think he's 20 years old and he was in the B team, so yeah, promoted him and he's done well. We then started the Champions League against Apoel, the Cyprian team. Could only manage a 1-1 draw, which was very disappointing. As you can see, we did take the lead through Kishner and they got one back, but it was a fairly even game. Their defender, Chatsiklukas, or whatever his name is, I think he might even be a made-up player, got a 7.8, and yeah, pretty much stopped us scoring quite a few goals. Man, I'm going to need to work on my pronunciation. Heerenveen was up next, so we could only manage, again, another 1-1 draw. Kesken getting on the score sheet this time. Yeah, before we squandered another lead. We only had 1 shot on target, so I guess it was a kind of a fair result. They had 2 shots on target and we had more possessions, so, I mean, make of that what you will. We then bounced back to winning ways against Chabab in the Dutch Cup 2nd round. They are a non-league team. Zivkovic with a brace, Vinovic with 1, and Denzil with a brilliant free kick goal in the 91st minute. They did score 1 goal from 2 shots on target, so I was pretty upset with that. Kesken did pick up man of the match in that game with a 9.0 match rating. And the final game I played before I started this episode was against AZ Alkmaar, and we got the 3-0 victory at home in the Eredivisie here. Kishner, Denzil with a penalty, and Geraldo Becker. And as you can see, we pretty much dominated them, so very good to see that they're a half-decent team in the Eredivisie. So yeah, and obviously, I forgot to mention it at the start of the episode, but we are going to do the Bayern Livecom today, as you can tell by the title. Quick look at the league table. As you can see, we currently sit first, but we have a couple of teams on our trail. Surprisingly, Excelsior are fairly decent at the moment. They're on 16 points, 4 behind us after 8 games, but we are unbeaten in the league, as are Twente, who are 2 points behind us. So yeah, I mean, they're right on our tails. The teams in the relegation zone, Wilhelm, Dordrecht and Go Ahead are in the relegation playoff spot. So yeah. Anyway, we will face Bayern Munich today in the live com, and we'll get into it as fast as possible here. Alright, so today's starting lineup will be Sillerson, Van Rijn at right back, Veltman and Denzil will be our centre backs today, with Peters at left back, Joate and Vinovic will be our centre midfielders today, with Proper sitting in front of them. Becker and Kishner will be our wingers today, as they have been fairly ever-present so far this season, and Kostagnos will be up top. The bench today will consist of Boa, Van der Horn, Legion, Verigiva, Keskin, El Ghazi and Zivkovic. And we'll get into it right now. As you can see, Bayern did beat Zenit in the first game. They played as well. So, I'm not, it's hard to say. I'm not expecting too much, but I would, really be happy with the draw here. Despite being at home, Bayern are Bayern. Especially in the first season, when they don't really sell anyone, don't really buy anyone. They pretty much have an awesome squad, as you can see by Neuer in goals, Lahm, Boateng, Babstuda, Bernat, that's a bit of a weird one with Bernat there, Martinez, Xabi Alonso, Muller, Robin, and then Lewandowski up top. And I mean, look at their bench right there. You got Dante, Shaqiri, Pizarro, Götze, Benatia. It's an amazing bench even. Alright, so I'm just going to say we're huge underdogs, and we'll try and pump them up as much as we can here. It's not really doing anything. Come on, boys, let's go. Okay. Well, there is the kickoff. And we've actually got the ball, so I'm happy with that so far. It's a good start for 15 seconds in. We're actually moving the ball quite well until, Kostagnos gets on it. And Lewandowski's pretty much at our, 18-yard box right now. Ooh, good tackle. Okay, so that was a pointless highlight out of the way. Bernat with a free kick. And that is the first goal, coming from a set piece. Jerome Boateng, first goal of the season as well. I wouldn't have predicted that in the 6th minute, but anyway. We are 1-0 down already. Great start. That was sarcasm, obviously. Anyway, waiting for another highlight here. If you could drop a like, guys, that would be amazing. I don't really think we're going to win, so I will apologise in advance, because I am not very confident. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy nonetheless. For those of you that are actually interested, I mentioned that I got a new job earlier. I am actually a removalist now, so yeah, just in case any of you were wondering while Bayern start ripping me to shreds, that is what I do. It's a pretty decent job, very hard work, but yeah, half decent pay, so I'm quite happy with that. And yeah, lots and lots of hours. And Lewandowski's got their second goal right there, coming exactly 10 minutes after the first one. And we're 2-0 down inside 20 minutes. So that is really bad, but it is Bayern Munich. And they have another free kick now. I mean, I probably should have changed my tactics to maybe counter-attacking instead of, leaving it on control, which is what I'm probably most, confident with. But, I mean, against a team like Bayern, with a team that I have, it is a fairly decent team of just Dutch players, but it's nowhere near the quality of Bayern Munich, so yeah. Okay, let's see what we can do in this second half. They have a corner. Oh, off the post by Muller there. Kishner clears it away. You know what? Let's change it. We'll change it to counter-attacking, and we'll see what that does. Hopefully we don't concede any more goals. 2-0 is a fairly respectable result. I'd love to try and grab a goal, though. That would be amazing. We may as well make some changes 70 minutes in. Eric Peters has just picked up an injury, so we'll bring Verigiva on. Who else can we bring off? Becker's been really poor, so El Ghazi can come on. And yeah, I don't really know who else. We'll bring on Zivkovic. Kostagnos has been really poor. We really haven't had anyone even, sniff the goal at the moment. 10 minutes to play. I mean, there hasn't even been a highlight in the second half apart from that corner. And Zenit are beating Apple 6-0. Jeez. Oh, this is going to be really tough against them as well, but I'm a lot more confident getting a result against Zenit than I am against Bayern, so yeah. Don't you just love it when you can bring Iron Robin off and bring Shaqiri on? Jesus. Anyways, we will build a team like Bayern Munich in the future. And Shaqiri is running through my team at the moment, and he shoots, and that is pretty decent save by Silas in there. Okay, so we kept it at 2-0. I definitely should have used the counter-attacking mentality before the game. We probably wouldn't have conceded those 2 goals. As you can see, Van Rijn actually played brilliantly in the second half. Managed to get a 7.6 from a 6.4, which is pretty crazy to be fair. I'm just going to say we were unlucky because I don't really want to crucify the boys too much. We had 3 shots on target, but no highlights, so that kind of sucks. But anyway, a 2-0 loss is fairly respectable against a team like Bayern Munich, I have to admit. And yeah, 6-0, wow. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this episode, guys. Like I said before, if you could please drop a like, that would be really good to keep the momentum of the series going. I'm going to try and get these episodes out as much as possible, but yeah, like I mentioned, I am working pretty much 6 days a week now, so apologies for that. It is very difficult to do, and I am missing, making these episodes actually. I think in the truck on the way to work and stuff that, I should be making videos, doing what I really like doing. I mean, these videos are like a real passionate hobby of mine, and I'm just, yeah, so happy I have as many subscribers as I do. I never really thought I would get here, so thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode, which will most likely be the mid-season review after the January transfer window. Hopefully we can get another couple of plays in. I'm not too sure about it, but yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Goodbye.